comments?
Yeah?
We have you on the agenda,
Yeah,
but no public.
public.
Oh, I didn't print the minutes again. That was the one thing I forgot.
Okay. Write them on.
Yeah, this looks good.
I try, I really do. Alrighty. Chapter applications. I only have two. The first one is for Glenn Tatton.
Well, you mentioned in that chapter, some of the 61 stuff might be running late because the foresters are hardly any around, and I've been waiting for my guy to get back to me for the last month and a half.
Okay.
And I got a guy from town working on Kurt Leslie.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might end up, well, he's got some of the paperwork. He might end up going down to get things
Got it.
on the go.
This one is 61A. He has 5 lots. I did check that everything looked good. The only discrepancy is he accounted for 52.3 acres. When you account for his house lot, it should be 47.75.
Yeah.
So my recommendation is to do a partial approval for the 47.75, so that you're excluding that house lot. And then if that's fine, you guys can sign.
Yeah.
Works for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then the next one is Alan Prentice. John, is he your son or your nephew?
Cousin.
Cousin. Was that one of the ones? I don't think it is. Okay. Because if he was, depending on how he was related to you, you would have had to recuse yourself.
I'm going to have to excuse myself anyway because his family.
You can, I
That's
mean,
your
you can
prerogative,
opt to do that.
Yeah.
But according to KP law, it's mother, father, brother,
Immediate.
sister, son, daughter. So
immediate.
he's not immediate.
Yeah.
So it's your choice.
Yeah.
How you'd like to handle that.
I think I'm just going to
Recuse yourself.
involved.
Okay. That's fine.
Somebody will complain somewhere along the line, so it don't matter.
Okay. This one we had talked about before. It was an issue of acreage because once you account for the house lot, he only has 4.59 acres.
Well, I can come in on this here because he's part owner of another 35-acre section.
So I saw that, but according to chapter land rules and regulations, it has to be under the same ownership. And because it's not technically the same ownership, he owns these two parcels outright in deeds under him and his wife's name.
Yeah.
And the other deed is 5-way split between
Yeah.
5 apprentices.
Yeah.
And so it's not considered the same ownership, and he can't
Use that.
use that.
Piggyback,
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a letter of recommendation from Marina if you guys want to read it, but her recommendation was based on,
Thank you.
you're welcome, based on it not meeting the 5-acre requirements, that we deny it. To be fair, as that's how we've acted on previous applications this year.
But I have a question for RRG, if you don't mind, please. You piggybacking off his situation, so he's slightly under the minimum requirement for the land, right? But he's a member of a group that has larger access to the land. Well, I'm thinking about people who take a portion of their property and put it into a trust, like they're doing at the banks now, okay? So they'll take a portion of the property, put it in a trust. Technically, they don't own it. The trust is actually the owner of the property, correct? Right. So would that,
So we're signing liens on behalf of the trust. We're releasing them off behalf of the regular landowner, and we're putting them in as trust. So they're consistent with the ownership.
Correct.
So they are able to do that. Now, if this group of 5 people want to sell Alan whatever the minimum lot size is and deed it to him the way he gets it deeded, it's a done deal.
But we can't combine, you couldn't, under
Not according
current
to the
law?
rules, because they are different ownerships, even though they abut, they're under different ownership cycles.
So somebody who took a bigger portion of land and put it under a trust
And that's
wouldn't
not currently
qualify?
under trust.
Yeah, but they wouldn't qualify either?
Well, the 5 would, under their own parcel, yes.
A
But
trust
you
would,
can't blend it with his, because it's different ownership.
Well, technically, the trust and the home are two different owners.
right,
Right,
Al, if
exactly. That's why
you,
you can't blend them.
if you take your property and you put it into a trust,
Correct.
and it's under the trust ownership, and it's 5+ acres,
He is a part owner of that 30-some acres.
I know.
No, we know that.
But it's not, like, on the deed, I brought the deeds.
Because he bought Charlie's
Yep,
share out.
so on the deeds, you can see, he grants 1/5 of his undivided interest, and so the deed marries into this one. So the deed has John K., Leslie, George, Joyce, Cersei, and Jeanette Cummings as owners, and Alan replaced Charlie on the deed. So
Right.
the deed is in the name of these 5 people, whereas his deeds are in him and his wife's name
Only.
only. So they don't match. So what you're looking at,
So if his wife's name wasn't on his 2
No.
lots,
Still not the same.
then it's still not the same
So the
ownership.
other 4 would have to go on his, or it would have to be match to match.
seems
The way
kinda,
the state would absorb it.
Yeah.
don't make
I
sense to
don't,
me.
it don't make
I
sense
know.
to me either.
And if it goes into a trust, Al, to answer your question, so if you own, Al Alfonso owns 5 acres of land with a house on it.
Correct.
And you put that 5 acres and the house into a trust, and you are the trustee.
Correct.
It
But it's adjacent to a larger parcel I own. So
Which is
I've
not
got
under
this
the
trust, and I've got this parcel.
But it's under a different name.
Yeah, so you could have two.
You could make it still under Afonso Family Trust, right?
You could, and that's my point. If you do it, then you're fine, you're matching. But right now, it's not that way.
If you have one parcel of land under Alfonso and one parcel of land under a trust with you as a trustee, those could not be on the same application. They could be on different applications. If you made the
But
land
the
with the
5 wouldn't
house
qualify.
and a trust and you're the trustee, then these 2 match and they can be on the same application. Does that make sense?
A little, okay. I'll look into it.
Yeah, just a thought, when you, what's the total parcel in acreage
For
Which one, the
this
primary?
for his house and the
applicant.
land?
So he has 2 parcels. Parcel 9118 is 3.05 acres. There's no house on that lot, so it can be in its
Fully
entirety.
used,
yeah.
And then 9119 is 3.3 acres. When you account for the house lot, it leaves 1.54 acres eligible to be in chapter land. When you add those 2 together as eligible lands, it's 4.59.
So when you take out,
The
you
house
take out 2
envelope.
acres?
1.83.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah,
whether-
it's the-
Whether the difference
zoning
between that
size.
and the other
It's
was,
the zoning size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've consistently done that across the board for all applications up to this
Yeah.
point, which
That
was, we had discussed at a previous meeting.
Okay.
So again, you have her letter. That's the information I have for you all to make your decision based off of.
And if he's recused, it's you 2.
Yeah, it's us too, yeah. I got that.
Which another option for you in the future, and it's in the letter, is if the 5 of you that are on that deed for the 34 acres want to sell Alan an acre, just 1 acre would do the trick.
1.58, right?
0.5
Not even.
.41.
Yep.
So is all he needs. So if you sold him 1 acre to be in just his name in a deed, you broke up the land, subtracted
acre.
1 acre, let him have it in just him and his
qualifies.
wife, he
Have
qualifies.
to pay for a clean.
Just under his name, or him and his wife?
Well, him and his wife,
Within the family.
it would match these, so it would be to Alan and Lisa Prentice.
So if we sold him 1 acre out of the,
Right.
whatever, 30
He
acres.
puts
Yeah.
it in the same name and joins it with
Yeah.
his property, he's good.
So that's definitely something that is feasible.
Yeah.
And wouldn't cost that much.
Yeah.
And would solve all the problems with acreage. And I don't mean to be a jerk, I'm just trying to
Oh,
follow the
no,
rules.
no. Oh,
Chapter land.
We still have a bunch without applications.
10, yeah, that's the next item.
yeah. Now you're sending him a letter, the lady's explanation. or
I can, yeah, I can
Yeah,
include
do
that.
Yeah.
It depends on how they vote, though. It's up
Yeah.
to these two.
I'm gonna make a motion that we table this. We send him the letter.
We can't table it because we have until the 24th of May, which is in
this-
3 days, to
yeah.
act upon it. Otherwise, it's automatically granted.
And we've already tabled it from last meeting.
I mean, you can vote to table it, but then it's automatically granted. So again, up to you guys. But that is a stipulation.
But he's gotten the exemption in the past, correct?
Yes.
That's the way her letter reads.
He has, yes. I brought his file, and yes, he has gotten it in the past. I don't know whether it was an oversight. I don't know the history enough to know
I understand.
why.
with
I'm just,
That's the way it is.
yeah.
Yeah, because I think we always were under the impression where he was part owner of the 30 acres and that extra land qualified over to
Yeah.
that.
When I looked into it, because I did a pretty extensive look into it, because I was hoping that we could figure out a way that it was accurate. The land that's the 34 acres is actually in chapter under your name with your applications in the past, so it couldn't have been applied to him because it was already being applied to you.
Can't double dip.
Right.
And you can't double dip. And then Marina wrote in her letter that if you're basing it solely on what's been applied for, he applied for just these 2 parcels, and we're looking at just this application, not what could be or what was. So,
So a motion to table hasn't been seconded yet?
No.
What does that, that other lot, what's that increase the value to?
what other lot?
The one beside,
So these are Allen's.
yeah, what's this value change to?
What do you mean, what does the value?
Yeah.
How many acres?
No, how much is the
Oh,
lot
does the
worth?
price, the
Yeah.
taxes go up?
Yeah. Well, what's the lot? It's a house lot.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing's not a house lot, so it's 3.38 acres, the house lot is 1.83 acres.
That's worth what? What's the value of that house lot?
40, 45?
Let's
Trying to
see,
figure out where it's running.
I don't have vision on this computer, so I'm gonna have to base it off GIS. It's 14 Prentice Hill. Okay, property card. It has the residential land assessed at 49,600. And the 61A land is assessed at 5,400.
After the exemption.
Yeah. If I'm reading it right, you can come look.
Yeah.
I could be reading it incorrectly.
Sorry, Mr. Cameraman. That's me. Yeah, 49.6 is the house lot. It's adjusted down to 5,400 after the chapter. Right? Does that say chapter?
Yeah,
What, the
that's
extra
chapter.
lot, the extra acre?
Pasture.
Yeah.
Sidelands, but backlands only worth, supposed to be what, I thought excess land was like 3,000 an acre.
3,500.
And it's 1.54 acres.
It should be, where nobody's really been aware of the rules of the 35 acres, him being a part owner. I mean,
Can't speak to
no
that.
matter who it is, I mean, that would be some sort of extend this close-off date.
Yeah.
So things can be readjusted, you know, we can sell them the land or what to get things back in the, you know, what it should be.
Can we ask him for an extension? He's gonna be denied, or he grants an extension so we can look into it.
Yeah, I mean, that would be reasonable.
But we'd have to have that signed off by Friday, which you're not open Friday, so tomorrow.
To grant him an
To
extension.
grant him an extension, grant us an extension to deal with the application, and if they wanna make a move, they can.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
The 90-day window extension.
Yes.
So he would say, we found ourselves, we want to table this so that something can be worked out. So give us a 30-day, 45-day extension instead of that 90-day where we're going to deny you. Give
yeah,
us a little
'cause
more time to work on
it
it.
opens
But
up
who
to
are
other
we saying that
properties
to? The
too.
property owner?
The property owner has to grant us the extension.
Oh, has to
Otherwise, you're
grant
denied.
us.
Yes, otherwise he's denied.
Okay.
That's how I would word it.
So what do I gotta get them?
An email.
Well, so you all
He
have
can
to.
stop up to the office tomorrow and sign whatever he has to sign to grant the extension.
Okay.
You're gonna work
Any
tomorrow,
thoughts,
right?
Jeff?
Oh, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
at work tomorrow.
Well, I'll have
Any
him come up,
thoughts?
I'll have him come up and see you.
How do you think we should handle it?
I mean, it doesn't meet the acreage with the rules. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, but we've been under the impression all along when he owned part of that 30-acre lot, that 5 acres more than covered,
That's
I
what
agree.
I was gonna go kind of piggyback off what you just said. Okay, we can grant the exemption for a year. Send a letter with the granting and forewarning him that this will be the last time and that it's up his responsibility to bring it up to quote-unquote standard, right?
You're the board. You guys can do what you
Right.
want.
I mean, that way, how many years has he been getting the write-off?
Applications go back
They
to.
went back a bit.
oh yeah, it's gone back about 10, 15 years.
Yeah, let me look.
Is this the first time we're running into this issue? Or?
Well,
First
so
time
when,
somebody looked.
when I was when I was looking at the applications, going through his file, so
Yeah.
they go back to
I mean, I leased all the land up there.
2009, I think was the last one.
So 16 years.
Or the first one. I did see a note on one of the applications where someone questioned this, but again, I don't know what was discussed or wasn't discussed and what the outcome was.
Fair.
But that was one note on 16 applications.
So for 16 years, he's gotten this benefit. So, you know, either we grant blanketly or we grant cautiously and say, you know, this,
Another-
an error by the town, you know, has got to be corrected, so therefore, you get it this year, but you got a year to bring it up for the next application to what the standards are, and we just line them out in his letter. You got to do this, 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 and this for the next one.
He's gotta add land to the parcel, which is,
Right, I mean, the group has to decide.
but they have to decide.
They have to
Yeah.
decide,
Now
it's
that
all
we
in their
know
hands, right.
that has to be done,
Right.
nobody,
Then it's seamless, yeah.
yeah,
You can do what you want with your big parcel, he can do what he wants with the little parcel.
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and since he's had it for 16 years,
Yep.
and we just caught it,
Yep.
then, right, exactly. Right? He probably thought it was gonna be automatic, it's been automatic for 16 years.
Well, I leased everything up there when I was raising beef
Yeah,
and whatnot. That was,
what do you think?
you know, so.
You still have a motion to table. Do you withdraw
I'm gonna
that?
rescind that motion to table.
Second.
Okay, so I'm go with I'm gonna make a motion that we grant, but we forewarn the property owner in our letter of granting that this is only for this year, this calendar year, the next coming year. The next time he applies for his chapter land, he has to conform with rules and regulations of the town as well as the state. Can we compose a letter to that effect?
I can do that. I can't make the decision on how you handle it. The two of you need to do that, but however you two decide you want to do it, I will do it.
Okay. What do you think?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion, we approve this year contingent, this year being the final year because it's been so long that he's received this benefit, but going forward after 2025, in order to continue receiving the benefit or receiving it in the future, he's got to conform with the rules and regulations of the Mass General Law as well as the town. Anything you'd like to add?
No, that should be fine.
Okay. So do we have a vote?
Yep.
I vote yes.
Yes.
Okay. 2-0.
Okay. And I will mark it as granted. And then you two need to sign it. And these are my papers here.
You learn something new every day.
I learned a whole lot this year. My brain is gonna explode.
I've only been at it 7 months, 6 months.
Yeah, not even. Alrighty. Okay, those are the only 2 chapter applications I have. The next one is outstanding application. So I printed out a report of all the chapter applications that were eligible for people to apply this year. I went through and highlighted all of them to keep myself organized. You can pay attention to it or not. But in all, 45 applications came through, 10 did not. And so as a board, I'm asking that you determine how you would like to handle the 10 that have not. I did send out a letter reminding folks to apply by February 20th. I sent out my letter on January 30th.
Return receipt requested?
I did not send it certified mail, no. So I talked with Marina and her suggestions were that you either decide to remove those who didn't apply from chapter, or for me to send out one more letter via certified mail with a new deadline. And then if they do not apply by that deadline, we remove them from chapter. So that's up to you guys. Those were the options that were presented as potential. You can look through who's applied and who hasn't if you want.
So if we were to go about, and I'm not questioning what you've done, just
Yeah.
thinking of the board in toto. If they were to challenge receipt of the letter, we really have no ground to stand on, do we?
Correct.
But do we have to send a letter? It's up to them to apply every year,
You're right. We've always done letters in the past.
but it's
I
not
think.
mandatory.
It's not
It's a
mandatory.
courtesy.
Correct. So,
Totally up to you guys. I'm just
let the chairman decide on this one.
the messenger here.
Do you have access to the information that is put on the town website relative to this board?
I go through Mel, so I asked her to post on behalf of our board
She does
for the time
post.
being, and then she posts. That will change eventually,
Okay.
but for the time being, that is.
Okay. So you can,
I can
we
ask
can rely
her
on
to
your English skills.
Yeah.
To compose something appropriate, get a chance to look like
No,
that.
these are what, they're not doing it, he's not doing anything with that neither, I don't believe.
So they don't want to be in chapter anymore? Or they aren't going to be able to qualify to be in chapter anymore?
Right, he's not gonna be able to. They have the sheep and the mother, but there's no, like pets, there's no, in this, I think it's like a 5-acre parcel to go
Thanks.
into that excess land. And I have to find out which lot these are. To see.
So if they don't apply, they will be removed. And if they apply and they don't qualify,
Yeah.
they'll still be denied and removed. So it's how they want to handle
Yeah, I
that.
just gotta find out what these two are here, because I don't, everything I have is in 61.
Not according to this.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
Come by tomorrow and we'll pull
Yeah, yeah.
we'll pull your folder. Because you still have, I mean, depending on how you guys vote tonight.
You may have more time.
So we got 11 people who haven't responded.
10.
10, I got 11, okay, cool.
That's just the first page. There's 3 pages. Everything that's orange or has like the squigglies,
I only got one page.
Jeff has the other 2.
Oh, okay.
They've applied. That was just my way of keeping track. The ones with the red numbers next to them, on all the way on the left outside, those haven't, and I was just counting that way. Kept
Okay,
my
got it.
brain organized.
Got it. That's fine, okay. As long as I know how to interpret the chart, that'd be great.
I just tried to bundle everything in
Yeah.
a way that made sense to me.
Well, I'll stop over tomorrow,
Okay.
so I can see what's what.
Thank you. I'm surprised by that one.
Strawberries, I keep jumping off that.
Okay.
All right. So how do you guys want me to handle it?
It's up to you. Thank you.
Send another letter.
Certified letter?
Yeah.
Certified, yeah.
Okay.
And after the letter goes out, if we could, or the day the letter goes out, if we could on the website put a permanent forewarning that, you know, going forward, years to come, we may not be sending out letters, we may not be sending out reminders, depending on budgetary circumstances, worded, you know, similar to that, but leave it there forever. That would be our opening paragraph. Because we've got a lot of chapter land here. We've got a lot of people with chapter land that are going to be adversely affected if they don't get their paperwork in time. We don't want any ill will between the board and the town.
Yeah.
So that way you can look and say, you know, we posted this on June 1st, June 5th, whatever the date might be. And it's been there for, you know, 8 months, 9 months. As long as it's always there, we're covered,
Okay.
right? Yeah, no?
That's fine. Does everyone agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give her a target date for its final extension. When will the next, so she's gonna send a certified letter, you have up until when to get this back?
What do you think is a reasonable amount of time, Mr. Chairman?
Well, I say within 30 days of this letter going, you know.
Sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That'd be,
So if I send it tomorrow, 30 days from tomorrow?
yeah, say by 30 June,
Okay.
be the deadline.
Okay. That's all I had for chapter land. Next. Do you want to introduce Ed and
I think
why?
Ed knows these guys better than I do.
Okay. Well, I will say, I did ask about how this was supposed to go, because it was an abatement application, which is part of executive session, and I wasn't sure if we needed to go into executive session for you to speak to it. And the answer I got was, you can speak to it out of executive session. The board can't respond, you just listen, and then we go into executive session without you for the board to discuss. Cool?
That's fine with me.
Excellent.
I'm Ed Blanchard, 23 East Comet Pond Road. I'm not sure we've met before.
I'm Jeff.
Nice to meet you. Could each take one of those. Oh, we've seen those.
Thank you.
We've seen those.
You want me to pass them though?
No, there's only one copy there. I don't have
Okay.
a copy for everybody.
I want each of those, or?
Yeah, one for each of you.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry I didn't get you a copy too.
That's okay.
Thank you. Look, maybe we do have an extra copy for you.
Oh, well,
Thank you.
It's okay, I'll get it.
I'll make you a copy, scan it to you.
well, I filed for an abatement previously, and Steve went down to the house and inspected the houses, and I was granted a $15,400 abatement. But I'm bringing you some information tonight, and I've been in real estate for 50 years, and I never mind paying taxes to my town because I know they're put to good use. But in my estimation, I need to get some information on how my assessment at 56 Barry Road jumped so high. These are the properties that I own. I have them here, and Old Boston Turnpike went up 10%. My house at East Comet Pond went up 13%. My land at North Comet Pond Road up 26%, but I'm fine with that because I could sell it for that. My land on East Comet Pond Road went up 8%, But 56 Barry Road went up 26%. And in the previous year, it went up 18%. In 2023, my assessed value was $328,400, and that's what's on the Vision 2023 data, because that hasn't been updated since then.
It's been updated.
Should be 2024. Would you get it, the GIS or on the website?
Website.
The website. We'll have to look,
Okay.
because the GIS is 2024.
So I've gone up 44% in 2 years. So I sat with Steve, and he was very good, and we talked about a lot of things. It's a unique property. It has 2 houses on it. One of them is 936 square feet. The other one's 600 square feet. They have a shared water and septic. They're on an 80,000 square foot lot, so they're never going to be able to split apart. He went and decided that rather than be an average condition, that they were below average when he inspected them, and that was the reason why I got the $15,000 abatement. There's been no improvements made, and the Vision card data I don't think has changed in terms, we said the cards
Yep.
were,
Other than that one adjustment.
well, the one adjustment was just the same
Right.
as it was 2 years ago.
Correct.
Yeah. It's a unique property with 2 units. There's not many comps, but it's very similar to a duplex or a house with a family, what do they call it, in-law unit?
An
Yeah,
ADU.
yeah. So the assessment went up 49% in 2 years. I don't know how many other properties in Hubbardston that happened to. How can the assessment go up $101,000 in 1 year? I don't know how that can happen if the cards stayed the same, and I don't know. I had asked Steve whether the formula changed or what changes could have caused that to go up $100,000. So I have some I have some data here for you that you'll have to share, but the first one is comps that are similar to this in terms of size of house, and I've circled the sold per square foot, and these were all in 2023. So all of those sold, and some of them are larger, some of them are about the same. And if you take the average sales dollar per square foot for those 4 homes, it's $258. And if I multiplied that by the square footage of the 2 houses combined, which is 1536, you come out with $396,288. And my assessment was $489,400. I don't know what the overall percentage of total real estate was between 24 and 25.
Yeah, I don't have that off my head.
Okay. The next page of comps, because we don't have many 2 families in Hubbardston. By the way, these comps were provided by Donna Warfield, who has a real estate license as a real estate broker in town. So we went to Gardner, which I don't know whether, generally if someone's going to do a comp and they don't have any comps in town, they go to the next town out or a similar town. Obviously Gardner is different than Hubbardston, without a doubt. But if you look at all of these sales that were about all of them are more square footage than I have of 1536. You look at, they sold for 210, 237, 320, and 272. So when I look at those sales of multiple family, I have to question how my assessment got to be 489, 400. Then there were a couple of sales in town that were similar, and even though they were more square footage, the first one, well, that was in Gardner too. That was 343, and the other one was Elm Street, and that sold for 340. And then the last of the comps is one that's on Ed Clark Road, sold for 270-ish, and it was 3,000 square feet, and it had the potential for a two-family. It's an older home, to be sure, and the condition is probably below average for sure too. And then there's another one that had a workshop area and outbuildings, and it had a garage that sold for 309. So these were the comps that she came up with that she felt were similar to 56 Barry Road. So I guess I'd like to be able to see if there's any research that could be done on why 56 Barry Road went up 101,800. And I don't know at this time whether a further abatement is allowable because you've already given me one abatement. I don't know whether you can reopen and reabate. I don't have any idea what the procedure would be for that, but I just, it's just such a huge increase, and as I almost sold it to him for 474,000.
He was going to carry full financing.
I was going to sell it to him for 474,000.
Did a quick math in my head. You can't rent it and get that much income approach. But anyway, him and I have had multiple conversations via phone. He stopped in a couple times, and my position is it is a unique property. I am more than willing to look at all of the options. Dave is the one, my boss, is going to be the one that's going to have to help me behind the scenes to figure out if there's something in the background, which is beyond my level of expertise at this point. But I'm more than willing to work with him. If there's something wrong, let's fix it. But if there isn't, it is what it is. So that's how I left him. He wanted to speak to you all, so that's why he's here.
Yeah, I just feel it's sort of unreasonable, and I don't think I could sell it for 474. I could ask Donna Warfield what asking price she would put it out for if she was going to sell it. But
well, I'd go along with you and your boss to go through everything.
Which was already in play. We already started the process.
Yeah, because the square foot cost goes to everything and comes out what it comes out to.
Just as a reminder, we can go into executive session at the end and you all can discuss. Alrighty. Have you got it all? You said everything you...
yeah, I just, been in real estate for a long time, and I think you don't know me, but you all know me well enough that, if I didn't think it were fairly out of whack, I wouldn't be here. I'd just be paying my taxes and enjoying retirement.
There's probably no reason to go into executive session until we hear back from you and your boss. I have to go through everything.
You can have your discussions to point me in the right direction, or ask me something specific, or we can pencil this in for the next meeting.
Yeah, why don't we do that,
There is a time frame because the original abatement, I only have 90 days from the original abatement to file with the appellate tax board. So that clock is ticking. I don't know, I received it on, oh, I wrote it down. Sorry, I got too many papers.
I know there's,
I think I received it on 4/15. But I don't know, it could be from the time you voted it, not the time I received it.
it might be from the date I mailed it. But I'll double check the date for you.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
So as long as we
Well,
can
yeah,
get, as long as we can get back together
Right,
before.
Well, if we
and
get back together, we'll be in executive session. So
I,
you won't be
I
allowed,
can't sit in executive session.
can't sit in executive session.
Oh, I thought as long as executive session was outside the public, but not, could be with the candidate. Okay. It doesn't make any difference to me. I just need more information.
Right, well, the
And,
critical thing to know is the deadline for you to appeal to the appellate tax board. You know,
Yeah. yeah, and if we get down, we can carpool, so we both don't have to drive down.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Ed.
Okay.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for all your hard work.
You've got these.
I have a lot of
You
that.
got those.
Old business, anybody? I had none.
no.
Okay.
Do
I
you
do
want-
have one.
Do you want to put this in his file or his paperwork?
I can, yes.
When we get to executive session, we can review it once again, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
I do have one matter not reasonably anticipated by the board that was brought to my attention through conversation with KP Law today about a parcel that is kind of in chapter. It is in chapter, it doesn't have the lien yet. She's looking to sell it, so we need to sign the lien. So it's just,
Thank you for your time.
thank you.
Thank
care,
you
Rich.
for
Have a good night, Ed.
hearing.
Bye.
Okay, next meeting will depend on,
Thank you. All right. Public comments?
Again,
Again?
Huh?
None? Date of next meeting.
that'll depend on,
Yeah, how much time do you think you need?
just give me a couple of weeks and we're good,
yeah,
if that long.
Do you want to
Middle-
do our normal third meeting in third Wednesday of the month?
So what are we talking, please?
June 18th.
18 June. Okay, thank you.
well, a lot of that ties into the timeline as far as,
Yeah, I don't know the timeline. If we have to
I'll-
move it, we'll let you know.
Yeah, if we have to move it,
Okay.
we can move it.
yeah.
But does that work for you, Jeff?
Yeah,
Do you want me to keep it at 6?
that's fine, yeah.
Okay, June 18th at 6. Do you all want to go into executive session or forgo it for the night?
No reason to go in
Okay.
second.
Do you all agree with that?
Fine. I'm good.
Okay.
Ball game's on, so, yeah.
We don't say that publicly. We don't say that publicly.
Last item of
Write that on a note.
on the agenda, Mr. Chair, you gotta adjourn us.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second,
Alright.
all those in favor, aye. Great, thank you.